Yeah, this works. When I played TG Stun chat in 2000, I played TG Stun. I basically played this. I played this deck. The format after this chat. My deck was a little different because Torrential Tribute went to 2. I didn't run. I think I did. I don't know if I ran Ryo or no. I think I did. I'm trying to think how my monster lineup was different because I ran Photon Sabers. I ran Beast King. Maybe I didn't run Tengu. Because I feel like Tengu might. Yeah, I think I did. What's it called? Hold on. I can bring out what's it called. Do it today, you pleb. I'm tired, dude. And I'm like super Yu-Gi-Oh'd out. Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Ops. What? I have a deck literally called Black Ops. Why didn't it come up? Here it is. Okay, hold on.
Of TG Rush Rhino, 3 copies of TG Werewolf, and 1 copy of TG Striker. The TG
chat. What if you guys think I should kill off replays and go back to this high quality content? Maybe I should do that. By the way, bring back the orange screen. Like this is what dirty fingernails.
What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Here's my second place Charlotte TG Stun deck. It worked really well. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys it. 3 copies of TG Rush Rhino, 3 copies of TG Werewolf, and 1 copy of TG Striker, the TG engine. You have to run Striker because not only does he let you synchro into a bunch of key cards that, you know, they're pretty important when you need them. But this guy gives you field presence. Like if your opponent has a monster, you can special this and then play like Werewolf or Rhino. So if those cards get warninged or bottomless or something like that or booked, then you still have this guy to protect your life points so that you don't take a direct hit. 3 copies of Photon Saber Tiger. This card is flat out amazing. Like it's basically replaced Tengu in the deck. It's not as good as Tengu, but you know, like you summon it, you automatically go +1. I mean, granted, it is weak by itself, but when you get 2 of them out, I mean, it's 2K. It's 2K when you add Horn onto it. It's 2K with Skill Drain, and then if you have Skill Drain and Horn, or 2 of them in Horn, it just starts getting stupid. One of my favorite things about this card is that it's level 3, so it actually makes Exceed very, very easy in this deck because you can Exceed with Werewolf, you can Exceed with 2 of these guys, and again, you know, one searches the other.
Beast King.
2 copies of Beast King. Once you get Skill Drain or like you special summon it, and it's freaking 3K. You know, you can normal summon it, beat your opponent down. They try and get slick on you. Summon like you know something like a Cyber Dragon. You just spawn another Banner Beast or activate Skill Drain and run their little asses over. I mean, you need big beast monsters, and just about everything in the deck is like a beast or a beast warrior or something. 2 copies of Thunder King Ryo. Like it's the only non-beast monster type in the deck outside of Striker. It's really just in here because it's a good standalone card that's anti-meta. It still works under Skill Drain, so Skill Drain doesn't really stop the whole no inherent summon thing. It's just a really, really amazing card.
This was my last top 8 too, by the way.
3 copies of Power Duality. It's an anti-meta deck, so that's pretty much staple. The spells, Dark Hole, Monsterborn, Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is really good, especially when you need to go into a synchro play starting off with Striker. Like you'll burn through a lot of your monsters, especially if your synchro gets warninged or something like that. So Avarice just refuels you. And when you've gone through your TG engine, again, you just get your TG engine right back. 3 copies of the best card in
the game, chat. The best card. This is when Yu-Gi-Oh was great, baby.
The entire deck, Skill Drain.
Hell yeah.
Skill Drain is a lot like the Honey Badger. Like, if you ever seen that video, Honey Badger don't give a shit. Like, Skill Drain is basically the Honey Badger. Like, your opponent plays Dragonfly, Skill Drain don't give a shit. Honestly, your opponent plays Stratos, Skill Drain don't give a shit. I mean, it doesn't matter what your opponent does, Skill Drain does not give a shit.
Sectors, why not just beat
3 copies of Born of the Phantom Beast, because it works with like everything in the deck. 3 copies of Deep Prison, gotta keep those monsters protected. 2 copies of Bottomless, 2 copies of TT. Again, everything in the whole TG engine floats, so TT is like really good in the deck. 2 copies of Road, because when you get aggro, you can basically force your opponent to Mirror Force or Torrential, but mainly just because of Heavy Monster. Got the Solemn Brigade, which is staple on like every deck. And then my last trap, Start Bribe, Call the Haunted, TG1, EM1. I started out TG1, EM1 before. I don't like it in multiples, but one copy is good. And for Call the Haunted, basically the main reason I ran this card was because of Beast King, and I used it a lot. Like, there were many times where I set Beast King because my opponent had like boards or something, they would attack, kill it, and then I like Call the Haunted it, ran over boards and like horned them or something like that. I'm gonna show you guys the extra inside. For my extra deck, it's pretty basic. With the Exceeds, we've got Utopia, Leviathan, Levier, Acid Golem, the mains. I never made Leviathan or Utopia at all. I'd probably still run them though, or at least I would recommend running them. The main cards that I used was Zen-Mains and Levier as far as the Exceeds. I made Acid Golem once and it ended up winning me a game that was actually in the last round of Swiss. For my synchros, we've got Magical Android, Gaia Knight, Orient Dragon. TG Wonder Magician was one of the cards that I loved all day. I used it a lot. I used it like 3 times in the regional. 2 copies of Stardust Dragon because I have 2 Starlight Roads. And then cards that I borrowed, Catastor, Baronic, and Scrap Dragon. I never made Catastor, but I made Brio for game twice. And I made Scrap Dragon twice. Actually, the way that I kept making Scrap Dragon, it was pretty funny. What I would do is I would Special Striker, then I would Special Summon a Werewolf, then I would chain another Werewolf off the first Werewolf. And I would make Wonder Magician, pop their back row, and then I would Exceed into Scrap Dragon with Wonder Magician and Werewolf. So, and it's actually, Scrap Dragon is really good in this deck because, you know, all the TGs float, and then, you know, you can summon like a Photon Saber Tiger, search another one, and then blow up the one that you just summoned to the field. So it's actually really good. The main cards that I used in the extra deck were obviously Stardust, Starlight Road, Wonder Magician, Brio, and Scrap Dragon. And then here's my side deck. There were 2 decks that I really wanted to focus on because it's, well, Dark Road and Insector, just because Insectors can explode, and once they explode, you basically lose. And then Dark World, much like Heroes, it's a real uphill battle. Game 1, it's really, really hard to win. So I felt like those are the 2 decks that I really wanted to hone in.
By the way, guys, 200 IQ ruling that you guys might not know. If you have Banisher of the Radiance, your opponent cannot send the Insector equip cards to the graveyard to use their effects like Dragonfly and Centipede. They can't resolve them if you have Banisher on the field. 200 IQ.
We've got 2 copies of Banisher, 2 copies of Snowman, 1 copy of WQYO. I didn't use the Snowmans at all because I didn't play a single Dino Rabbit or Hero match in the entire event. So Snowman didn't really ever get used. Thunder King came in against windups when I played him. I played 4 windups. The Banishers are pretty good against Insector because they can't launch any of their monsters. Like Insector Sword gets removed, they can't use their effects. And against Dark World, I would start out my brains inside these in with like Shadow Mirrors. 3 copies of Shadow Mirror, Speak of the Devil. Again, Insectors and Dark World. 1 copy of TG1, EM1, and 7 tools. This was going to be for Heroes. This was going to be for Heroes or Rabbit, just so I could make sure they couldn't warning me or do something like that. And for our spells, we have Heavy Storm. 2 copies.
I was actually wondering if Heavy Storm was legal this format. Yeah. Oh my god, this format was so good. That, my goodness, chat. Real talk, every single time I got Heavy Stormed, I won. Like every time this format I got Heavy Stormed, just Starlight Road, just winning again. Because I was wondering, I was like, was Heavy Storm legal in this form? That's pro. Heavy Storm legal, don't even main deck it, chat.
Like that.
Don't even main deck it.
And for our spells, we have Heavy Storm, 2 copies of MSC, and 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. These were the cards, these 4 cards are what I sided in more times than any in the entire event.
No negation
I played so many windups, I played so many Insectors, and I knew game 2 I was going to see Royal decrease so much, so I kept siding these 4 cards in all the time. Like, I don't think there was a single match except maybe against a Light Swarm player that I didn't side these in. I hope you...
No Maxi. Yeah, Maxi was, what's it called? Maxi was at 3 in this format. I just didn't play it. Because the only time that I wish that I had Maxi was I played against a wind-up guy and he wind-up looped my entire opening hand. Yeah, that was the second, that was round 2. Game 1, he wind-up looped all 5 cards out of my hand, so I just lost. Game 2, I got skill drain and just won. And in game 3, he didn't open the wind-up loop, and I was like, yes, I have a chance to play. And I remember he set like 2 back row, and I set like, I want to say I set 5 traps and like summoned Rhino and attacked. And he made a misplay and it lost him the entire duel. During his turn, he went draw phase, and I was like, cool. And he flipped over roll to Kree. but he didn't do it during my end phase, and I dart bribed that shit. Game over, because I was just like, skill drain. Like, because his friend asked him immediately. His friend was like, why didn't you roll decree during his end phase? And he was like, I just misplayed. Yeah, he had I set 5 and he had roll decree, chat. I kid you guys not. And he rolled decreed in my draw phase, in his own draw phase, and I was like, bribe. And once he lost that roll decree, like, skill drain just game.
You guys enjoyed the deck? Let me know.
The thing about this deck was, all the main deck, if you have skill drain in any main deck monster, you're just gonna beat like basically any of the meta, because all the TG monsters, it doesn't matter if you kill them, you'll just search a different one. And then Beast King was 3,000, Photon Saber Tigers were 2,000 with skill drain, and even like the weakest monster with skill drain was like Thunder King Ryo, I guess, like, and even Ryo could technically activate his effect under skill drain.
You know, like, what you guys think?
That was, what's it called? This was this was 2000. It wasn't late 2000. This was the March 2012 format. This was after the March ban list, the corrupt ban list. The ban list itself was like really terrible, but it ironically made an insanely fun format. And it was like the Starlight Road was really good in this format, because it wasn't just good against Heavy Storm and Mirror Force, but Konami actually put they put Torrential Tribute to 2. So with TG, you would just massively overextend, and you would try to get your opponent to torrential you, and then when they torrential you, you just flip over Starlight Road. You'd have your TG monsters, and then you would also have the Starlight, the Stardust Dragon. So it was like a win. And then, even if you did get torrential, who cared? The TG monsters floated anyway, so it didn't matter. Like, this deck was so fun. I mean, my version didn't play Tengu, of course, because I want to say Tengu got hit to 2, and I was like, I don't see a point of playing 2 Tengu, so I just played Photon Saber Tiger. It was basically just as good, honestly. Not quite as good. Ban list of Greed. That's what I might do. What's it called? I might do a Yu-Gi-Oh story on Tech Genesis. It was, dude, Tech Genesis was like such a fun deck to play. Such a fun deck to play, chat. Bring skill drain back to 3. Konami, please. If Konami brought skill drain back to 3, chat, I think the deck I would play, I think I might play Trains. Because Trains is like, I think Trains is like a deck that can benefit from 3 skill drain, but it doesn't need 3 skill drain. Yeah, it doesn't like have to need, what's it called? Windups wasn't around in 2011. Windups came out in Order of Chaos, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Windups came out in Order of Chaos. I mean, that was 2012. And windups were definitely, what's it called? Trains suck. I didn't say I was playing the best deck. Trains play skill drain. Don't they want to go second in OTK? Yeah, but if you play skill drain, you can actually like go first, because you just make Dora skill drain and then you're just fucking good. You're just, I mean, you just have big ass beaters. And by the way, doesn't Trains have like a 2800 monster that you can normal summon? Yeah, you're just playing. It makes it so that you can like fucking go first. You know, I'm not saying that you want to, what's it called, but believe me, 3 skill drains in Trains is like fucking legitimate. It's like a meta call, or do you just want to play Trains? I just want to play a deck that plays 3 skill drains. Dark Roll will be another. Oh my god, Dark Roll would be another deck, dude. Playing Dark Roll, chat, with triple skill drain, because at that point you're just popping shit with Grapha. It's just Grapha beat. You just turbo through your deck as quickly as possible, and you just sit on Grapha with, what's it called? Yeah. By the way, for any of those of you who didn't know, that song, chat, I can't believe you guys. Well, I can. It's an old song. That song is before my time, so that song is it's from the Call of Duty Black Ops game. It's the Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil. Now I had the, what's it called? The yeah, this is the song. I had the instrumental version, but this is the song. Y'all never played Black Ops? The original Call of Duty Black Ops? This song is in like maybe the 4th or 5th level. It's the stage when you're going through like the Congo. You're going through like, y'all never played that shit, really? Yeah, you're going through like the forest, the Congo forest, and they play this song when you're on the boat. Dude, that was dope. I remember hearing it. I was like, this song is awesome. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment. Yeah, it's a really awesome song. They play it in the game. And they don't just play it in that level. It's the outro. When you beat the game, they play it in the outro too. And I always just was like, this song is fucking dope. So when I topped with TG Stun, I was like, I'm gonna put it in my what's it called?